That's what that is. So,
Business.
hello. Come on, come on. Share the live, share the live. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your sister, your brother, and your cousin. We got one love here today, honey.
Yay!
Yes, y'all don't want to miss this. Um, so we have a few questions for One Love. And I'm going to just take a moment and read her bio to you guys because, again, she's so phenomenal. I have had the pleasure of sitting down with Amanda last month, just kind of getting to know her, wanting to know the vision, wanting to know her mission. And I am glad to say that this young lady is a powerhouse.
Oh.
Has a great vision for the community. So that's kind of what we want to talk about today and just get to know her on a personal level. So thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Welcome again to Rumor Has It with Shy Shaw. And what is a rumor, right? Everybody knows what a rumor is. And so the thesis of this particular podcast is to debunk any rumor, right? Doesn't have to mean that it is anything personal or related, but it's whatever the guest wants to debunk, right? So that's why she's here today. But we're keeping it open, we're keeping it fresh, we're keeping it live so that, again, you guys can get the information that you actually need, right? So what is a rumor? An unofficial piece of news, purpose. It's an unofficial piece of news. Sorry. So I was about to do a run-on sentence there. And the purpose of the podcast is to no longer stand by and let others provide misinformation about your cause, about your mission, what it is that you have been set out to do. So again, we are here to debunk any misinformation that you may have received about One Love or about Miss Veasy herself, right? So again, we got about 6 or 7 questions that we're going to ask, and then we're going to let her expound on that to whatever it is that she is liberated to do. So Miss Amanda Veasy is the Texas State Organizer for You.
You are the power.
You are the power. And the founder of One Love, right?
Yes.
And the executive director?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Longview, a grassroots nonprofit dedicated to serving those who have been overlooked, excluded, or criminalized in the Longview community. Through a culture of radical empathy and action, Amanda has worked tirelessly to provide life-sustaining care and advocacy for real change, especially for individuals experiencing homelessness, and systematic injustice.
Yes. Listen, that makes me sound real good, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, you are.
You're sweet.
You are. No, seriously, because we see the homeless, right? We see them. It doesn't matter what city you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that there has to be a solution for that. And I think as time has went on, we've seen it become a little bit more prevalent. Doesn't matter what city you're in. Of course, we know that sometimes the homeless can be geared to one specific side of town. Well, I can personally attest now here in the Longview area, we're seeing everybody migrate.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter what side of town now here in this city,
right?
You're going to see the homeless,
mm-hmm.
right? So for someone to be passionate about the mission,
I think it's been my goal for our folks experiencing homelessness
mm-hmm.
to not be pushed to one side of town.
Right.
I've long said that North Longview needs to take responsibility for what's happening in South Longview.
Right, absolutely. So, and with that being said, can you share a pivotal moment in your journey that significantly shaped the current path that you're on?
Man, there's a lot. I don't know that I can narrow it down to just one thing. I think my entire life has geared up to where I am today. Cool. I feel like you have those moments where everything just makes sense. So I think like from early childhood, the things that I experienced, I had a father who battled substance use.
Okay.
He had a terrible car accident.
Oh wow!
And I would say the worst possible scenario happened. He survived, but he was left with a traumatic brain injury, and through some intensive therapy,
mm-hmm.
medical care, him being at one of the top brain rehabilitation hospitals in the nation.
Wow.
We were able to get him to about the cognitive abilities of an 8-year-old.
Okay.
So there was a period, so I was very young when that happened. There was a period when I outgrew him. And so we were learning how to read together, and I excelled, but he stopped.
Okay.
And so
that's a lot.
That is a lot. That's a lot. So
how old were you?
I was 5 when he had his wreck.
Wow.
So I don't have a lot of memories before, and he wasn't real present or making the most family appropriate choices, I think, at that time. So it was,
gotcha.
But
as much as you could liberate, that's fine.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
So I'm like, from there, growing up, I became a teen mom, and I moved out of my mother's house when I was very young. Yeah. Had a baby, and listen, hard things happened.
Absolutely.
And I found myself experiencing homelessness with my tiny baby boy.
And that was your pivotal moment.
Man, that one of many. Yeah. Okay. But listen, that was huge. Trying to navigate motherhood with a history of severe trauma, and then adding the component of not having an address. To add to all of those things, it was hell.
I bet. I can definitely attest to the teenage parenting. You know, I was a teen mom as well. So I think we all may have had that. Those of us that may have been in that teen mom position, felt like we needed to move out of mom's house, right? Because we put ourselves in that situation of maybe early adulting, and we should not have, but I felt the guilt and the pressure and the shame, putting my mom in that situation. I was like, maybe I need to just remove myself from it, and I will release some of the anger that maybe she had, or I wouldn't say anger maybe, but maybe, what do you call it? Disappointment, right? Just disappointed in the baby girl, right?
Yeah.
And we're becoming teen parents, so I can definitely attest to that. But glory to God that you actually pulled yourself through it. You were still able to keep that healthy relationship with your father, and kind of help him grow and past his disability. Yeah, just a little bit.
It's like, I think about what I do now and how I work with individuals who are experiencing homelessness, and we're not talking about like that. It's typically said about 80% of any given homeless population anywhere. It's a once or twice in a lifetime event. People are able to overcome it on their own or with the help of a few agencies in a few weeks to a few months.
So tell me about your experience with you opening OneLuv, right?
Yeah. I have been working.
What led you to that? Sorry, not cut you off, but what led you to just taking that leap of faith, saying, hey, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to open up a homeless shelter, right? What pushed you to that point?
So I started this work about 10 years ago. I was in a marriage before, and it was not a healthy marriage. I was spiritually and emotionally very abused. Didn't know I was being abused until I picked up a book in a bookstore on a whim, on a chance. Walked by it, picked it up, and my ex-husband had every sign of abuse on 4 of 5 different lists in the book. So I think I was about 27 at the time. I had been in that marriage for years. Had gone through hell there, and he was a pastor. There you go. There's the rumor. There you go.
So did you debunk one rumor?
I think I did. Maybe. I hope so.
Okay. I like this though. This is good.
So he was a pastor, and admired in the community, and
that's a different journey.
That is a different journey. So when I got out of that marriage and got to safety, I swore I'd never go back to church. I'd been through years of every Sunday.
Every Wednesday and Sunday.
Every Wednesday. Listen, every day. But the Sunday sermon was about everything I did wrong during the week. Every Sunday.
So you were big to the topic of the.
Yeah. So like the congregation might not know, right? But
you're the topic of the sermon.
Yeah.
And imagine having to sit there and take that.
Oh, yeah.
Every Wednesday and Sunday, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, I got out and I was so very church hurt. And I swore I would never go back to church again.
Gotcha.
And I did a few times. And every time, I wholeheartedly believe now that is just not the space for me. I don't listen.
To each his own.
I know that would probably raise a lot of argument.
To each his own.
Right. We'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there.
But every time I went back, it was hurt all over again.
Yeah.
And it looked different every time. But I found God in people.
Got it.
So I remarried. My husband and I would take our tithe, put it in cash on the fireplace mantle, and then on Sundays, instead of going to church, we would take our children and go out to encampments and to the different parks where we would have a lot of folks experiencing homelessness, staying there. And so we take our tithe and we would meet whatever needs were in that park or in that encampment that day.
And that's just as giving back. I mean, I think we have been taught, we have been indoctrinated to do certain things that really doesn't solidify spiritually who you are.
Right.
Because some of the other things could be just religious practices.
Right.
But in my study, in my education, as far as theology is concerned, it tells you that there is one God. However, there are certain religious entities that practice different.
Right.
And everybody tithes in a different way. They may call it something else different.
Yes.
Per the religion, but it's still a give back.
It's so interesting to me that I think about this all the time, and I was so indoctrinated and so very religious for so long.
All of us, girl.
And I feel like I need to take a moment, look at this screen, and be like, if I hurt you during that time, I'm so sorry.
Please forgive me.
I had the absolute best interest and best intent, which I think we often do, but it was toxic and damaging. And so
it's good to finally find someone that can relate on that level.
Yeah, no. Well, and it's not talked about, right? Like, we're shushed, and you don't talk about spiritual abuse, and we don't talk about church hurt. Right. And when we do, we are often shamed for talking about that because we're told we're leading people away from the church. Or my favorite is, God didn't hurt you. It was the people, but the people are the church.
Right. So I'm not walking away from my spirituality because we have a very great relationship.
Yeah.
But if I choose not to subject myself, you hear me? If I choose not to subject myself to that pain by walking back into the doors of the church, then that's just my personal preference. And that's been my personal preference really since COVID or a little bit before COVID because of that church hurt, because of that church pain. But once C-19 came around and the doors of the church were closed, remember I told you about that? Yeah. I lost a lot of respect at that time because ever since we were itty bitty kids, we were always taught, it's going to come a day, and it's going to come a day. And the day came, and the church closed the doors.
Right.
And they stood in line and got an injection. Imagine that. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I get it. I hear you.
But, girl.
Yeah, so that's a long way around to answer the question, but... Right. So we started going to these encampments, meeting needs. Sometimes it was taking everybody to the laundromat. Sometimes it was loading 8 people in the back of my husband's truck and driving them to a restaurant just to sit down and break bread with them. Wow. Sometimes it was pouring rain outside, and so we would go and get a couple of hotel rooms and bunk people together. Really? Sometimes we went to the dollar store and they got to get snacks or pick out what they wanted. And I would say, I mastered the art of listening during that time in my life. And that's been 10 years now. And so I had some business owner friends that would come to me, and I started to post some things on social media when there were needs outside of what we could do on our own, and say hey, could anybody pitch in or possibly help towards this?
And I think that's when I start noticing you.
So is there a resource for this? Some business owner friends are like, listen, you've got to start a nonprofit. And I'm like, hell no. I am not, hell no. I am not starting it. I will not do that. and then I started a nonprofit.
You did, right? Successfully.
Yeah. So it came. We started OneLuv in 2020.
Okay.
Everything was shut down, and people were craving, longing for belonging and community, because we had not had that. It had been months, people stuck in their homes, and like you said, the churches were closed, and the businesses were closed, and everybody was trying to make the best decisions that they could to keep people safe, but we were isolated. Wow. And so it snowballed. So it started out as this movement in the community to go out and bless essential workers who were considered less essential. We saw nurses and doctors being honored. But listen, the folks that were pulling our grocery orders were every much as essential.
Absolutely.
As the nurses and doctors. I can remember my husband is a pharmacist. Okay. McDonald's was giving out free breakfast to essential workers. Okay. He went through the drive-through, and they told him pharmacists were not considered essential workers.
At a time such as that?
Yeah.
So we were considered essential workers as insurance agents.
Listen.
Shut the door.
So you got.
But I guess that makes sense.
The folks that are cleaning these buildings, disinfecting these buildings, serving as custodial staff, right? Not being honored, and so we were like, no, that's not okay. We just asked people to pitch in, give some gift cards, and we went out and just gave them to essential workers.
That is amazing. Really.
And so it got a lot of engagement really early on. We were in the middle of political unrest and racial division across the nation.
Absolutely right.
We had just witnessed the incident with George Floyd, and people needed to come together, and they craved that. Right. So that's what we did. And then my roots are in homelessness. That's where my passion is, and it doesn't matter how far I've run, how many times, it always drags me back. It just pulls me back in.
So for you guys that have just joined in, thank you for tuning in to our very, very first podcast, Rumor Has It, with Shy Shaw. And today we are here with Amanda Veasy, who is the Executive Director of OneLuv Longview, who supports the homeless initiative here, who has dedicated herself to be an impact and change in the dynamic of the homeless situation. I don't think a lot of us really tap into that. We see the homeless maybe as a nuisance, or we see them as something that we can't relate to because it's not an experience that we have personally had. But it is definitely a need to be addressed. I will say that. So again, thank you for being here, and thank you her for sharing her journey with us. So we're going to try to move on just a little bit.
All right.
Thank you for giving us that history on that. In reference to your personal growth, right? In your business journey, how did the business journey intersect with your personal growth, right? Has this initiative allowed you to personally grow in some other areas?
I think the official nonprofit started, got the paperwork done in 2020. The last 5 years have been a constant learning curve. Okay. I didn't want a nonprofit. Right. Remember I said that. You did. I did not want to do that. I didn't want I didn't know it was going to be political when I started. I did not know that helping people would be political. But I didn't want the red tape that was associated with it, and business friends pulling me to the side saying, we've got to do this. People would be able to donate to you, and you'd be able to do so much more. Right. And listen, things started off great. We have done so much great in the community, but at some point, helping people became political here.
So you feel like you grew stronger in the political knowledge through this experience? Just being more knowledgeable about the political side of the homeless.
I've said this before. There was a time in my life, and I told you, shared that I had experienced homelessness in some different forms. Okay. For years, I lived in severe poverty. I was falling through holes in my floor. There were holes in my roof. Didn't have running water or electricity in our home at so many different times. Okay. And when you are in that level of crisis and survival, you don't care about politics. You don't have time to care about
That
politics.
is true.
So when it matters the most, you can't know about it because you are too busy trying to survive. So it didn't matter who was president. The food stamp benefits that I was getting, they might go up or down depending on whether one party or another was in office. But it wasn't enough to impact me. I was still not going to be able to feed my family with the food stamp benefits that I had. I was still going to have to go to the food bank to fill in the gaps.
Wow.
And I was still going to be collecting counting my quarters when the water utility man came to disconnect my water. So whether or not we were, the county or the city were, or on a national level, tax levels were changing, didn't matter. So yes, I'll say that I recognize that politics do matter, that who we vote for does matter, that we need to be educated.
Absolutely.
We need to be educating our communities on what's happening. I think like the biggest thing for me was I was so naive 5 years ago. And sometimes I miss that little naive girl because ignorance.
Now you know too much sometimes. It's like I wish I could purge some of it out.
Listen.
Tell me about
ignorance is bliss. It really is. So there's...
Until you get to the table. And then you learn about local governments and politics and initiatives and task force and...
all the above.
Yeah, it is very eye-opening.
It is.
When you get there versus being on the backside and just being totally clueless. We just hunky-dory, go through our cities and, live our lives and so on and so forth, instead of it being that we are in the know. Right? We're not in the know sometimes because we don't think that we need to be in the know, I guess, or it doesn't involve us. Right. A lot of times we think that it doesn't involve us. And I'm trying to readjust this camera, y'all, sorry. But once you get there, it definitely enhances your personal growth when you get to know how the city operates, how the state operates.
Yes.
The one thing, and not to take away from you, but the one thing that I am appreciative of is the Longview Interview and us being a part of that committee, getting to know, like, for real. Some of it may be a little sugar-coated, and I understand that they can't tell us everything, but it is good to have an idea. Right. And then we're able to put faces with names, right? We're able to know who's moving, right? I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah, I wish that I had as much hope as you.
Well, I mean, I think that's one of my traits is always I try to be optimistic in any and everything. I mean, it's just, after being let down, it's, going through so many different things of loss and confusion. I don't know. I can't help but to be optimistic. Like, I try not to even think about the negative, as much as possible. And so that's where that optimism comes from.
Yeah, no,
do I see the train wreck? Oh, absolutely. Do I see the train wreck? Heck yeah.
I am grateful to be a part of that class.
I will say that.
It has been enlightening.
Correct.
And I too am very honored to be able to listen to all of the different aspects and what they're presenting. Even
if I can't maybe be on the task force or be that part of the agent of change, at least they heard my opinion. Right. And I am appreciative of that, so that makes a difference. So shout out to you guys, Longview, City of Longview, and the Interview Committee, which myself and Amanda were both accepted. What was that, in May? I think it started in May, right? So we go over to the City of Longview every 2 weeks, per se, something like
twice
that.
A month, I think.
Yeah, twice a month. And so it has been a really, really great experience. Like I said, just for information and them kind of bringing us to the table so they can actually hear feedback from the residents, different things that we're passionate about. So I'm appreciative of that.
I'll tell you what I do think is that I think that some of the folks in that class are some of the biggest or loudest voices in Longview. Okay. And so my hope is that with this class and the classes moving forward, that people will go in there and they will listen to what's said, and then they will do their own research in addition, and make their own assessment, and then find a way. Listen, like that's the thing. If we are not happy with what we're seeing, it's our responsibility. To take action and see how we can help move it forward.
And it's our taxpayer dollars.
That too.
So why not? Why not utilize the voice that you have? Because we all have a voice. So, personal growth, I love. It sounds like you were able to expound on the political side of just being able to come into that aspect of it. So that's really, really, really good to know. What's a common misconception about your industry? Or one of your roles within that you would like to debunk? Right? So, two things there. You could either debunk the misconception about the industry.
Okay.
Or what would you, and or your truth that you would like to convey instead. So we're just going to debunk the whole outlook or whatever people may perceive homelessness to be.
I think probably the thing that I feel most compelled to address right now is I hear all the time, homelessness is a choice.
Good one.
And I will say, without a doubt, there are no 5-year-old little girls and boys.
Y'all hear that?
That are sitting in their kindergarten class when they are asking, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
They don't say, I want
to be homeless.
I want to be homeless. I want to be addicted to drugs.
That's heavy.
I want to struggle. I want to be in a spot to where I can't pay my bills. Nobody is saying that.
This is heavy, guys.
I have been doing this for 10 years. Not one time have I ever come across a road that didn't end in homelessness, that did not start with trauma.
Listen, if you are just joining, the question was, what a part of her industry she wants to debunk. And that is homeless is not a choice.
Yeah. You'll hear it. So many people.
You're right. I'm gonna be honest. Because it's one thing when I feel like if a person's talking to me and I'm convicted by something, I do have to be honest about it.
Yeah.
And in my ignorance, I probably have said that before.
We all have.
I'm just saying I probably have said that before without self-consciously thinking.
Right.
About you just said, like no 5-year-old is waking up saying, I'm just gonna be homeless.
Right. I didn't.
So I gotta ask God to forgive me now.
Well, listen. I think
like seriously.
Well, man, listen. I think we can see. I think so often we draw conclusions from what we see, and what we see is on the surface, especially when we don't know someone personally.
True.
So we pass by someone on their side of the road who's experiencing homelessness, and we stop and say, and they have a sign that says, "We'll work for money," right? Or homeless veteran need money. Or I'm hungry. We stop and we think we're not going to give that person cash because we don't want them to use it for whatever they, we think they should.
But you're right. You are speaking truth right now. I lived in Dallas for years, and for years, yes, I would give, yes, I would pass it out the window, and then those news articles would come around, or they were just saying different people were using us or taking advantage of just being at that red light and stuff like that. So then that's where maybe those different conceptions did come from. But I do have to be honest, I did say that at one point.
Well, listen, I think again, so many of us, and listen, there was probably a point in my life, even though I experienced it, we can look at people and see them making poor choices over and over and over and think they're choosing this, or they just don't want to help, or they want to stay where they're at. But that is not the case. And if you sit down with that person and they become a person instead of a label.
Yeah. Oh, God, forgive me. Or I got to go do some praying about that. No, I'm serious. And even just with you even saying it, putting it in that sense, that did convict me. So, wow.
Yeah, homelessness is not a choice. Nobody is choosing this. Nobody wants to keep going. I asked a person experiencing homelessness when I said I learned the art of listening by going in encampments. I sit on a tree stump. That's my favorite memories that I have, and that is essentially the essence of OneLuv and how it started. Me on a tree stump, sitting in an encampment with folks who have lived in hell for years, eating a Little Caesars pizza out of a box and smoking a cigar, right? Because that is how you relate to people.
Yeah.
When you become.
And that's probably why they felt your entity as a safe haven. Yeah. Because you could relate. They didn't feel as if they were coming into contact with someone that was going to ridicule them or
like this
judge them.
This industry, I call it an industry because of that, for lack of better terms. Okay. But there are so many helpers, and we see a lot of charities birthed out of religious beliefs or a conviction that we feel, which is a wonderful, beautiful thing. But people are people. Humans are humans, and we make mistakes, or you see a lot of people don't last for very long in this line of work because it is hard, and it hardens you, and it changes you.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so, we deal with a lot of church hurt. And so OneLuv was a safe haven for folks that have had religious trauma, who maybe they had been to a program that was religious based and had been treated ill there.
So tell me about the services that you were actually offering.
Yeah. So OneLuv on McCann, I think that's the biggest part, and I'll talk about what we did there and what we do now. Okay. So we had an almost 9,000 square foot building. And I want to say that had like 23 different rooms or spaces in there. We were providing breakfast and lunch. We had it's broken down into two different parts. So we have what we call the core side of the building, which is client outreach services, and then the admin side. So on cores, we had a free laundromat. We had a dining area. We're serving breakfast and lunch every day. We offered showers in that building. And any hygiene products, clothing, shoes, anything that a person might come to us and say they need. Bikes, right, to get back and forth. Bus passes. Anything that a person might come to us and say they need. My goal as a person is to find a way to answer yes to questions that should get a no, right? And so trying to navigate what that looks like. How can we say yes? Gotcha. And then the admin side of the building is where we held all of our services that required HIPAA compliance. So we had a free medical clinic. Sweet. Intensive case management. Really? And at one point, we offered free counseling there, both mental health and substance use.
Guys, see, we didn't get this part of the information, right?
That's not what they wanted you to get.
That's why I say it's always two sides to every story, honestly. I mean, I don't care how old you are. If you don't understand that, something's wrong. But this is amazing.
And I will say also that I started OneLuv and had a great relationship with first responders when we first started. I know things went south there at the end, and things were so hard and so rough. And there's this constant battle and advocating for our folks who were being arrested for petty homeless violations. So there was a point in time where I had 50 clients arrested in a 51-day period. 50 people in 51 days.
That's mind-blowing.
Arrested for jaywalking, walking on the wrong side of the road, riding a bike on the wrong side of the road, criminal trespass. I had a client who served weeks in jail, months in jail, for possession of a shopping cart.
Interesting.
Because
on the news we only get maybe 15 seconds of information, maybe 10 seconds of information, right? And so, again, when I sat down with you just to inform you about what I was planning, it's always two sides to every story, y'all, for real. And I'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth, per se. That's what Rumor Has It is about, to debunk anything. So I'm giving the opportunity for people to express themselves, and then our audience knows the truth.
Well, and I'll
or
say
some
that,
portions of it, because we still got to be mindful of the city that we live in, different things that we have going on. So,
and I want to add that when we started OneLuv, and it still stands true today, one of the first policies that we had in our policies and procedures was that we had an open door policy for first responders. Okay. So any officer could drop off any person at our doorstep who was experiencing homelessness, struggling with substance use, or had a mental health concern. And what we wanted to do was be able, listen, I'm a person who believes that law enforcement should not be doing social work.
Absolutely.
We need social workers doing social work.
Absolutely.
So we wanted to be able to free up those officers' time to do the things that really need to be done here. And we want to take care of the folks that need help.
I wonder if there could be some type of a way, that maybe protocols can be changed with the city. And that might be a question that maybe we should have for the mayor or the city. Something in the sense of it being... Can the protocol be, instead of arrest, like call the mental health?
I think the city is, they have
people to come out and do an examination, or can we hire more through the police force? Somebody that can ride along maybe. I don't know what that might look like. Maybe I'm just overthinking it or overshooting the idea, but there could be a possibility of a solution.
Listen, there are other communities who are leading with compassionate care and seeing results.
About that.
So
another city that may offer what you call it, compassionate care.
Compassionate care, yeah. Okay. So I think.
What does that look like?
It's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
And Longview is aware of those things. And another thing that the community is not aware of. I've written proposals to the city and the police department on how we could partner to provide that.
Okay.
And that was never accepted.
Okay. Not in this season.
Not in this season.
There you go.
But I will tell you, listen, not with us.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter who does it as long as it gets done.
Correct.
So I think that the city now has the program called GLOW, Greater Longview Optimal Wellness.
I think I've seen that.
I think we're gonna get to learn about that in Longview and View, because I think everybody needs to know about that.
Because I kind of touched on it just briefly.
It's done through the fire department. It was created to target frequent flyers who were using the 911 line and ambulance service as transportation.
Okay, that's good to know, because I was really wondering what it entailed, because they only gave just a little bit of the vision, so that's good.
I think that combined, we have the post unit, police officer or police outreach services team here. Those are the officers that we have that are specifically designated to work with folks experiencing homelessness.
So if it's like an emergency mental health type of thing or homeless, they're going to dispatch those specific officers. That may be kind of what they're trying to.
I think that would be the hope and the goal.
Got it.
And I think by combining GLOW and POST and trying to create these different...
So we just need to get a little bit more information on that. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I know Community Health Corps plays a part in that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that the city of Houston, Dallas now has a team where they got together, the Mental Health Authority, which ours would be Community Health Corps, and an officer from a designated team that works with homelessness. In Houston, it's called the HOT Team.
Oh, really?
Homeless Outreach Team.
Oh, that's cool.
They go out 2 by 2, and these officers don't do enforcement at all. So they go out and build relationships with this community. But let me tell you what is different here. Okay. They had a mayor that led that initiative, who was passionate about solutions and who wanted to take a different route than criminalization, because Houston was bad at one point. Folks were being arrested. They have ordinances now in Houston that protect the homeless population.
That's good.
Because officers were going in and throwing away all their stuff that they had sitting around them on the sidewalk.
Yeah. And see, that could have come from a task force within the police, like what their instruction is. Wow.
So that was a reality in Houston, and folks were losing their documentation, their birth certificates and IDs, and Social Security cards were being thrown away in these sweeps. And so now they have an ordinance that protects folks experiencing homelessness, so that they're allowed. I think they're given like a 3x3 space around their body for their belongings to be, so that they can keep those items closer to them, and that is their right.
So I wonder if that, and I understand with the administration that we're under now, right? And I think within this week or this past week, he just rolled out a whole nother law.
Executive order.
Yeah, the executive order dealing with the homeless, saying that, cities got to combat them, like they don't have the ability to be out. So I'm just wondering how that's going to impact sanctuary cities like that, or big cities like Dallas, Houston, where they have the homeless initiative to try to not make it criminalized, but then here you have the other coming down saying, hey, you got to do this now. I'm really wondering what that's going to look like. What do you feel? Do you think it's going to something that's going to stand? Is going to be a benefit? Or
I think that communities who are practicing criminalization rather than compassionate, person-focused care are going to receive incentives. And Longview right now is one of those. So I would always say follow the money trail.
Got it.
I do think that we will start to see some of our organizations like ACLU and the Homelessness Law Center will likely start to file lawsuits to try to slow that down or put a stop to it.
That'd be great.
Which would be great and ideal. The problem is that just saying the things that are in this executive order, do lasting damage that empowers local governments who are practicing criminalization.
This is heavy.
And
because
so
it's real.
Even if we had this great turnout and we're able to put a stop to this executive order, the damage is done.
It's done.
So we are right now experiencing things that it will take decades to undo just the damage.
Well, next question. What is your next business goal and how do you balance the pressure?
Well, I'm thriving at that. So right now, currently our services have shifted a lot. We've had to go into hiding to provide services because we've been targeted everywhere that we've been. Our next goal right now is to raise money for a mobile unit.
Got it.
So we're currently doing, one of our board members started a GoFundMe for that. We've got a fundraiser that's coming up for that.
We're going to get the information so we can drop that so you guys can go and support.
Yes, please.
Yes.
We're going to be headed in that direction towards going with a mobile unit. We are providing services in different places in the community and essentially just going where our clients are. So that is the next step, is I want that mobile unit. And I want multiple mobile units.
All right, y'all. We heard that we have a new initiative that we need to be able to support OneLuv with, and that is the mobile unit. Hey, that sounds amazing. Is that causing you a lot of pressure right now, or is it kind of working out the way that you see it?
We haven't raised all the money to get it, so it hasn't been purchased yet. So we'll see.
Good deal.
Yeah, and balancing. Is that what you asked me about balancing? I have had to make it a priority to prioritize my own mental health. I have experienced the worst end of mental health, the stress that this work.
I bet, because it's a tall cause. It really, really is. And
well, listen, the people are great. The clients that we serve, not a problem. That kind of stress, that I want that.
No, when I say tall cause, I mean just to try to fix it.
Oh yeah,
right. That's a lot to think about.
It's the fact that helping people is political that stresses me out to no end. So I go to therapy. every week. I don't miss.
Good friend.
I have tried to start eating better and taking
Yes.
vitamins and go to the gym to work out
Yes.
frustration.
We got to take care of ourselves.
I take my meds. Listen, take your meds. Take your meds.
And for those of you that are undiagnosed, you're not shooting no
Yes.
slugs. Go fix yourself.
Yeah, listen.
Because there's a lot of us, a lot of people that may be undiagnosed, but are so opinionated about mental health and even homelessness.
Right. Well, and
Go fix yourself.
I think that we also, I come from, and I hope that this doesn't offend or
No, speak your truth, because
or upset anyone, but I come from, for lack of better term, I come from Black church, right? Like that is
Be yourself. That's fine.
and so like I was taught just pray about it.
And that's supposed to fix it, and we don't talk about it, and we're just supposed to hunky-dory along.
I would say, like, to people who are on the fence about mental health or about therapy, you can pray and take your meds at the same time.
Yeah.
And both work.
And you know, the difference, and I'm glad that you put it like that, because I do believe that there is a difference between the congregations, right? And I honestly say that because just in my point of view, even coming from the medical sense, you know, me just having a medical background, right? Before ADHD was a thing, we know that the more Caucasian kids were already dealing with that. Well, and the parents could address it.
Let me tell you
but
about
for us,
this.
we would have never thought to address it.
But this is systemic. Okay, because
It could be, but I'm just saying.
neurodivergence, which ADHD falls under neurodivergence.
I get it.
So it's in the same class as autism, right? Okay, so for the longest time, autism was just a rich white boy disease.
Absolutely.
Because only wealthy white parents
Talk about it.
had the money to be able to take their child to the doctor. So what happened was the only research surrounding it was on young white boys. And then we had young Black boys who were experiencing it and didn't have medical care. So it was written off as a behavioral issue.
But we as parents in our culture couldn't identify and accept that was wrong with my child, so I would rather maybe not even address it.
Well, listen,
right?
the government told you that it didn't exist. And
I might not even address it, but what I'm saying that to say is, in my opinion, this is solely my opinion, right? They would go get their child the help versus us sending them to school, and then we're just getting behaviors from school. So we're really thinking that it's just a behavior issue and it's not anything else, and so it never gets fixed.
right.
And it just continues to go on and on and on and on and on, even into their adulthood.
Right.
Which still goes back to some of the choices that they make. So I digress to that, but I'm just saying, like, I heard what you said, but then I still feel like the white families, the Caucasian families will address those issues and not let it go on. They'll go get the medication. You see what I'm saying? We won't address it. But we won't go get the medication. That's why I'm saying, hey, instead of y'all being judgmental, go fix yourself. Like, don't be judgmental of her saying, yeah, I take my meds. Like, don't be judgmental in that sense, because there's a lot of people that are undiagnosed that really need some medicine, that probably need some counseling, need some help, but won't address it. Right. So that's the difference. And I really wish that we would be able to come out of that and be more honest with ourselves about our children, even about the culture that we're in.
Well, listen, I also say I think that historically speaking, and rightfully so, I think this is a righteous, just feeling. I'm married to a Black man. My in-laws are Black and brown people. My little children are little brown children running around. I have seen this play out personally. There is not a whole lot of trust in the medical community, and for good cause, right? So why would we take the Black men were like
yes, ma'am.
Tuskegee,
Targets.
the Tuskegee Project, right?
Always have been.
Were injected
purposely
for a research project. Why would I want to take my child and expose them to that?
Yeah.
And that's devastating.
But at the same time, we still have to be honest. We still have to be honest, you know, even as parents, and not try to brush that off or not want to address it because we think that it's taboo or we think that people are going to judge us when you really might need the help, like honestly. So I applaud you. Kudos to you. Thank you for being transparent today. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you for giving me a platform to be transparent.
Girl, I want you to come back because as you continue to move on in your initiative, I think that it is great to talk about where you've been, where you come from, what's new, because had you not shared with us about the mobile unit, now we wouldn't know what to support you in, right? We wouldn't know how to pray for you to continue on in your mission. So for me, that's my thing in that. So thank you for sharing that, like honestly. I think, again, people really need to tap into just a little bit of empathy.
Yeah.
If they could just go blind for a day, maybe 2 or 3 hours, right, to just listen. Not hear, but to listen. I think it will make a big difference. We're not listening to our children, right?
Agreed.
We're not listening to these major initiatives. We hear the government, but we're not listening and we're not applying anything that really would benefit us on the backside because we're afraid, right? So if we just sit back and listen, what if it's listen to your inner being, listening to the Most High, or just listening to the initiative instead of judging, right? We lack for a lot of that. So I'm not going to get off on my soapbox in reference to that because that will be a whole nother other 2 hours.
Right.
But we want you to come back. We definitely want you to come back. Anytime you feel led to come back, anything that there's something that you need to get out to the people, hey, Shy, like, I need to get on. Like, put me on schedule or
Listen,
whatever.
just sign me up for I had so much fun. I started off a little nervous and starting to talk about the things that we're passionate about lights a fire under you.
Good.
So I'm honored to have been the first guest here.
Yay!
And I'm so grateful to be able, again, to have the platform to speak my truth out loud and
it means a lot.
right, debunk.
Hello, how you doing?
rumors.
Yes. If it was just one, I know you guys probably thought that this was going to be something else totally different, but she did debunk a rumor, right? You guys have had this whole, even myself, and I'm convicted by having to debunk the rumor of me being very judgmental toward people that are homeless. So, I got some praying to do, and so I'm gonna fix that. But anytime you need me, I'm always available to help. I'm really serious. So let me know if you need some boots on the ground, you need me to come volunteer, whatever that looks like. I do not mind. Because again, I think what you're doing is a great thing.
Thank you.
And I pray and I do hope that the city does come back and embrace what you're doing to make this thing where it could be a partnership, really. And if not a partnership, but just to not dim the light on what you have done and what your future goals are.
Listen, I just want the work done.
Yeah.
Help the people, love the people.
Right.
That's it. That is the kind of.
I need a t-shirt.
Yes, you do. That's the kind of. I hope that you'll have it on in your next podcast.
Yes, I certainly will. What? I am the merch queen, honey. Y'all give me whatever y'all want me to advertise, whatever y'all want me to share, honey, give it to me. I'm gonna do it.
Listen, you better watch out. I'll bring you a hat and a t-shirt. You'll have all the
Run it back. I'm gonna put it on. Yes, ma'am. So again, y'all, we're about to wrap this thing up. This was our first live, so little bit of nervousness, but I think, like you said, once we got into it, we got over it. This was beautiful. Y'all don't hesitate to tune in. We have another wonderful guest that'll be here with us at 6:30 this evening. I'm super excited to hear from Mr. Carter. So again, hey, rumor has it with Shy Shaw. I do hope that we have been able to pique your interest and debunk that rumor that you were so looking forward to, right? Y'all have an amazing afternoon, and I'll see y'all later. Bye. You did good.
Oh, thank you.